Gentrification is taking over Toronto's downtown area rapidly. How is gentrification at the downtown east side affecting street-based sex workers in these areas? I'm all ready for the corner, as you can tell. I got my sexy outfit on. It is work, we have to look good. We're selling ourselves to the bigger public to make that money. Put on our sexy outfits and hopefully we'll make some money. As the new laws that are into effect, C-36, which makes it really hard for sex workers to work. But this bill allows police officers and community to push to get us out of the areas in which we work. As you can see, we ran a whole bunch of condos in a residential area, which at one time was great for protection and safety. So we weren't in an isolated area, but now they're pushing us out of those areas, which makes it dangerous because we have to work in areas that we don't know, which puts us at risk for violence, police harassments, and much, much more. So, sex work has been around for many, many thousands of years. Toronto downtown east side, where sex workers live and work, are witnessing and experiencing the rapid revitalization of condos and businesses, which is pushing sex workers out of these areas by heightened community policing, the removal of strolls in which sex workers work, and the high rents that make it impossible for sex workers to live in these areas. My name is Monica Forrester, a two-spirited queer trans sex worker, currently working and advocating on the issues sex workers face through their work. The gentrification of these areas are pushing sex workers out of areas in which they access vital services for healthcare, community gatherings, and a place where they feel safe for working and living. In turn, sex workers are experiencing harassment targeted by police and community residents. Sex workers are being evicted from their houses due to increased rents and being outed as sex workers. We're seeing more sex workers experience homelessness, living out of the 24-hour drop-ins, living in ravines known as Tent City. The street-based workers and the laws, this really puts sex workers in a really vulnerable place when interacting with clients to make sure they are safe, to make sure, that we can bring them to safe spaces to do our work, and as we can see, the city of Toronto, through my footage, there's been a lot of gentrification. So we're seeing a lot of condos, we're seeing a lot of more residential areas in the downtown area, where at one time it was, lights, action, and right now it's so residential. So this puts a strain on sex workers because it pushes the money out of the areas in which sex workers actually worked for decades. The isolation sex workers are experiencing is resulting in depression, suicide, loss of community, and even death because of these erasures of their communities which they live and work. Gentrification equals many elite populations and has proven not to include the lives of sex workers, low-income people, street people, the need of affordable housing or accessible services. Sex workers are seeing the decrease in their business due to the extreme presence of police and community policing, which is pushing sex workers to work in unknown areas to survive. We as community members, agencies, allies need to bring more awareness and that sex workers and people in these areas need to be heard, acknowledged, and the downtown east side can be a place for everyone in the area. If nothing is done now, the downtown east side will become unknown, a scary place for sex workers, marginalized groups that live and work in these areas. We'll see more criminalization, violence to the communities that exist here now, more homelessness and displacement to people in those areas. The community that have been there for decades have worked hard to build the downtown east side as a community hub that welcomes all people in the area and an outlet for vital services for all. Gentrification can include all people in our society, affordable housing for everyone, a safe work area for all, communities supporting everyone that lives and works in this community. Let's not make corporate money ruthless city MPs to erase the vibrant community that exists now in this great city.